I'd like to quickly review the biological species concept. Two organisms belong to the same species if they meet two criteria. First, they have to be capable of interbreeding, which means they're capable of having sex. And second, they have to be able to produce fertile offspring, which means their babies are capable of having babies. This definition is easy to use, and it works well for this class because we mostly talk about vertebrates or animals with backbones. But there are problems with the definition. If you're a microbiologist and you study single-celled organisms, many single-celled organisms reproduce asexually. They reproduce without sex. They reproduce by simple cell division. And then what about fossils? If you're a person that studies dinosaurs, how do you know that two dinosaurs belong to the same species? Because it's highly unlikely that they were fossilized having sex. Well, why are horses and donkeys different species? A horse can breed with a donkey, and in fact, when horses breed with donkeys, they produce an offspring called a mule. But the mule is a sterile hybrid, so even though horses and donkeys can interbreed, they meet the first criterion. They don't meet the second criterion because the mule is a sterile hybrid. It is not capable of making babies. The species name, or the scientific name, is a binomial. Bi means two, nomial means name. And so there's two names to a species name. Humans belong to the species Homo sapiens. And notice that the first letter of the first word is uppercase, and the first letter of the second word is lowercase. And both words are either in italics or they're underlined. Let's look at a botanical example. Let's look at pine trees. All pine trees have the first word of the species name being pinus. Pinus is a noun that means pine. And pinus is actually the genus name for all pine trees. But the scientific name or species name for the one-needle pinon pine, which is the picture at the top, is Pinus monophylla. Notice it's two words. Notice the first word is uppercase. The second word begins with a lowercase letter, and both words are in italics. Also, the first word is usually a noun, and the second word is usually an adjective. Pinus means pine. Monophylla means one leaf or one needle. And so Pinus monophylla is a one-needle pinon pine. It has needles in groups of one. Pinus quadrifolia, well, pinus means pine, quad means four, folia means leaf or needle, and so Pinus quadrifolia is a four-needle pinon pine. And so they're both pine trees, but they're different species, and so they have different species names or scientific names.